Susan Horn Spencer graduated from Christian Brothers University in 1983 with a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering. Fulfilling her lifelong dream to work at NASA, Susan has been honored with the NASA Silver Snoopy Award, Space Flight Awareness Award, and NASA Silver Achievement Medal. She continues to work on groundbreaking projects. We are honored to have such an individual amongst our alumni, reaching for the stars.
I grew up in Memphis. My mom and dad lived in Whitehaven. My dad was a tool and die maker at Richard's Manufacturing Company, now Smith & Nephew. I went to high school at Harding Academy, had great teachers, got a great education there. Took 2 years of drafting, so the 2 years of drafting had me all prepped for the drafting class at Christian Brothers. Once I got there, it was very easy to go through there, and I was just next drawing please, next drawing please. So when I decided to go to Christian Brothers, I was actually making a decision between, did I want to be a band director or did I want to go into engineering? I went with the money. But I still have that outlet of music, which is fun. Well, I play the French horn in the Madison Community Band. I've been doing that for almost 20 years now. There's a lot of engineers and scientists that also play in the band, so students who are taught music can excel more in the mathematics and science just because of their similar structure. I chose CBU because I thought the engineering program was outstanding. I really liked the idea of the smaller class size and more attention from the professors, especially in the engineering department. They knew who you were. It wasn't a large class that you were just another face in the crowd. I believe all of the mechanical engineering department professors were very strong in supporting the students and encouraging them. One of my favorite memories, though, is not of a mechanical engineering professor, but rather a civil engineering professor. Right before I graduated, I had accepted a job with the Tennessee Valley Authority at the Bellefonte Nuclear Plant. And I needed the AISC Steel Construction Manual, the old blue book. And they'd already come out with the new version. And I needed the old one. So I go up to Mr. Guy and I say, how can I get this the AISC blue book? And he says, here, take mine. I have his, it's still a treasured book on my shelf, has his coffee stains, everything on it, and I will treasure that always. I'm a mission manager in the Technology Demonstration Missions Program Office. We're here at Marshall Space Flight Center. Our group has 9 projects that are at different centers, and a couple of them are with contractors. And so as a mission manager, I have 3 projects that I oversee what they're doing and report their activities to our leaders at headquarters so they can understand what's going on, and the people at headquarters who are funneling the money to the projects are comfortable with what's going on. I also work the Human Exploration Telerobotics Project that's headquartered out of Ames Research Center. Quite a bit of the work is done, however, at Johnson Space Center with Robonaut. Robonaut is a collaboration between NASA and General Motors, and right now Robonaut is on space station, and they have been doing demonstrations with Robonaut with a test panel, punching buttons, turning knobs, manipulating soft goods, fabric, zippers, wipes that they would use to wipe the handrails down with. The legs for Robonaut will be flown to space station to do a mobility demonstration. Right now, Robonaut is just on a pedestal, stationary, doing these things with a test panel. One of my favorite projects was the project that I worked on prior to taking this job in technology demonstration missions. I was the project manager for the iServe instrument that is now flying on space station. We had very little money. We had very little manpower to do it. we were able to take a commercial telescope and commercial camera, do a few modifications to it, and get it to be an instrument where the Surveyor program could actually take images and use that for environmental monitoring and disaster monitoring to help their project. From the time we got authority to proceed on the project to the time we delivered our hardware to be launched in 10 months. And that is almost unheard of in NASA. And it was commercial off-the-shelf hardware, and there's horrors that go along with that, but I had a fabulous team that we couldn't have done it without all these great people working together that were excited about working on flight hardware. It just means so much to be able to put your hands on something and know that that's going to fly. Of course, my husband Jeff is also an engineer. He works for NASA as well. Jeff and I met at Christian Brothers. We were in a class together in mechanical vibrations. It was his senior year, my junior year. I had taken it a year early. My son Brian is also an engineer, so yeah, we have a lot of engineers in the house. Daughter Katie decided not to go that route. She still has the engineer's brain, but she is more of a scientist and decided to go with veterinary medicine. Of course, having two engineers in the house reminds me of a funny story. We were hanging striped wallpaper in our kitchen. It took us 3 days to do it because we had to have everything perfectly straight and lined up, plumb lines, everything. But I laugh at that story because when it wouldn't line up correctly, because you know no house is square, it drove us crazy. My husband and I love to come to the annual moon buggy event at the Space and Rocket Center. We love seeing the students that come and the alumni that show up, just getting to talk to the students and getting to get their take on what's going on at Christian Brothers and tell them about what we're doing as NASA engineers. It's really special. I laugh and say that you guys pulled my name out of the hat. You know, I don't feel like I've done anything special, but I've been fortunate to work on very interesting projects and have gotten to do what I dreamed of, which is to build and fly hardware into space. Because way back when, 6th grade, you probably remember having to do this, write the what I want to be when I grow up issue. And I remember writing that I wanted to work for NASA. And when I went to work for Teledyne Brown back in '85, I thought that was as close as I would ever come. One day during in time of iServe, we were getting close to shipping and getting ready to turn our hardware over. I was walking into work and it had been a little difficult, and I walked down the hall and I just happened to think to myself, I said, girl, you're living the dream.